Oh, I think it's me. Yay! It is. Just make sure if I am here. You might not remember me. I used to make. Oh no, that's right. I do make videos. Yeah. So anyway, walk and talk video. So I'll talk some more about this stuff just because it's here in the old face. These value arguments. And I did find an interesting quote on the Anti-Bullshit Man blog. So I guess we'll work with that. Somebody wrote the basic sentence, the important sentence, the yeah, this is it, really sentence. Isn't effects on current or future sentient beings how we determine the morality of everything? Of something, everything. Well, whatever, you get it. Yeah, the game is really about future, current, and future impacts. We can't fix the past. Obviously, in hindsight, there's lots of things we could say, ooh, that was awful, ooh, that was awful. And we would fix those things if we could. If we could undo all the stuff that happens that hurts people, just by wiggling our fingers at it, we would undo it. And we see how it negatively affected everything and destroyed their relationships and destroyed this and destroyed everything, burned and crashed and ooh, horrible, horrible. But again, the catch always is, every time you change one single thing, the old butterfly crap happens and everything else also changes. So even when you think about fixing something, you have to account for the fact that your fix will have these repercussions. Like I said, you fix a relationship between two people or whatever, you change relationships, and those people's lives are changed, and the people who they get into relationships, their lives will change, and there's all this whole effect, And some of us would be, I think, horrified, maybe I would be one of them, if we could actually see all these effects, and so we could purely see the world. Like, say, the day we were born, we died. And then we could see exactly how the world would be, with us and without us. It gets more and more complicated the further along you let the person live. Because then you have effects that take a long time from when you were 5 years old. They're still in the world. But just take out all the effects. Take out your conception. Whatever. It would be just really, 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 really fucking cool if we could see the world with us and the world without us. It's just wishful thinking, right? It's never going to happen, and it really sucks that it's not. It'd be really cool if we got computer models. Once the computers can do the weather thing, yeah, it'd be really cool if they could start doing here's the world without your asshole existence thing. But like I said, there's so many. When you think of just the permutations, all the people you interact with, all the relationships you have, all the hurt feelings you create, all the resentments you create, all the anger you create, every way you affect everybody, all those vibrations go into the world. I mean, in a way, I've never really given it too much thought, just because this is how I felt I need to live my life. But I'm attempting to impose vibrations on an awful lot of people. I'm willfully stepping into a noisy medium, or a medium that travels, where waves travel through it, and disrupting things. And it's a hell of a responsibility. It's a hell of a thing to do, is to, make waves. Be a wave maker. And it's not my intuition-wise, it's not my nature to do that, because I don't have explicit knowledge. I don't have certainty, except about my intent and about the quality of the noise I'm making. That's the only thing I have any kind of confidence in. But I don't have confidence in the fact that me is the messenger. I'm pretty doubtful, actually, about the quality of the messenger, not the message. So, But anyway, that's a side subject. I don't really want to get to that. So anyway, anti-bullshit man's answer to the question was again another evasion, another half of answer, where he says, yes, that's the answer if you think the only ingredient to morality is, negative utilitarian values. But that's not the context either. That doesn't have to be the only consideration. The point of the statement is that you can get to that same, worrying about the present and the future quality of life. You can get to it through these different mechanisms of constructs of morality, through defining different principles of behavior, because the absolutes are not going to be available in most cases. The highest, clearest probabilities of certitude aren't going to be there for us to jump on in every case, so we're going to have some other kind of element of morality or ethics that won't be as explicit as fundamental principles like don't drink and drive. I mean, that's sort of like an easy one. Very little potential gain, very high potential risk aversion, destruction caused. You're limiting the amount of destruction with an almost guaranteed certainty, and you're sacrificing nothing really of any value whatsoever. A drunk's right. Sorry, no sale. Drunks don't have rights. As soon as you put the intoxicant to your lips, your rights are eroded substantially, and you just become responsible, not right endowed. You become responsibility burdened. So it's a no-brainer as a ethical mandate, as a moral doctrine. Yeah. So anyway, again, in his convoluted, backslidey, wishy-washy acceptance of part of that statement that it is just about the welfare of the current and the future, he brings in this element of somehow we have to value people's individuality. So we have this element now, that's his sacred element. He uses things like truth and honesty, but those are things completely owned by rationality. You can't be rationally honest. You can't be in any way doing in the best interest of without knowledge. So that's already an explicit element of the negative utilitarian mandate, that you go where the benefit is. So that's already a tribute to honesty and the truth. So you can't use honesty and truth or reality as things you're defending when that ground is already owned by the rationalist, saying whether you feel imposed upon or not is irrelevant. So we're really just to this sacredity of the individual. That's what this whole fucking piss is about. He is conceded. The value is in the sentient organism and what it feels, and all he's whining about is the fact that we might trespass on individual ignorance, individual right to be an asshole. That's what it comes down to. He thinks people have an individual right to be an asshole. And all they have to do to justify assholery, apparently, is fool him. Yeah, so that's a really brilliant standard, right? That's one we can apply everywhere, right? That really makes a lot of sense. Fool anti-bullshit man into thinking you're competent and you have rights as an individual to say, I don't want to take your antiviral drug. I don't care if it will eradicate smallpox. I don't care if I'm going to be, smallpox hairy. I wish to retain my individuality, fuck you. And anti-bullshit man says, oh, I believe that one, so yeah, okay, you can fuck all of society as an individual. You get to veto the right thing. Yeah, we won't do the right thing, we'll just let you veto it. Fucktard. Because anti-bullshit man was fooled into thinking he has competence. And, you know, he didn't know that the reason why he's saying it is because he has a tape recorder glued to the back of his head by a mullah. And the mullah, you know, the Arab mullah, crazy Mohammed nutball, is controlling his brain. So anyway, I mean, it's just such a mushy. It's just mushy. Yeah, I will accept that we will create some arbitrary standard by which we will judge when human beings are competent. You know, so I was just thinking about it, you know, we have the context of the Star Trek metaphor, and you know, the Spock idea versus Kirk, and so I'm basically arguing in defense of Spockian logic, and you know, anti-bullshit man is doing the emotional Kirk thing, like, you know, I don't want to. I'm Captain Kirk. I want to do it. I want to do it superhero style. I want to wear my Superman suit. You know, yeah, okay, I'm being deliberately. You know, it really is. That's all it's about. This individual thing doesn't mean anything. It's just such a crock of shit. You're either right or you're wrong. You either prove it or don't prove it. And I don't even know if anti-bullshit man would disagree with that, in the sense that it's just an argument about how we establish when individuals are fucktards. So anyway, the Star Trek thing had this idiotic prime directive that they never obeyed, right? Right? And the prime directive was, don't interfere with the alien culture you bang into. And it was so nonsensical on its face. And the hypocrisy they displayed in applying it was laughable, right? So because a guy goes to another planet and they all become Hitler-esque because he thinks Hitler was good at getting the trains to run on time, then it's okay to fight the Hitler monster. But if they naturally evolved to Hitler, the Enterprise would just sit back and say, too bad, we can't interfere. So, you know, you're going to have 50 million people die, go through all this horror, and we can't figure out how to clean this mess up for you. We're going to force you to clean it up. You know, now what intelligence would do that? It's a completely unintelligent response to the problem. We already have the personal knowledge of the circumstance. We already know the huge dangers. What if Hitler in this planet gets the bomb first? Is the Enterprise just going to sit back and let Hitler nuke North America? Yeah, I mean, fuck the Enterprise. If it's that wimpy. If it can't put on its Superman suit and do the right fucking thing. And at least stop the war. It could do that. It could just say, fuck you, you're not having a war anymore. Here's the game. You're in a solar system. You're in a space. The Jews don't have horns. They're just different than you. Grow the fuck up. Okay, here's a better economic system. Then you don't have to get mad at each other, but you won't be stealing from each other all the time. Here's a way to be civilized, so you can build starships and join us in this wonderful, whatever, adventure into space and blah blah blah. And you play a little music as your spaceship goes zooming through the cosmos. Obviously, this is all daydreaming, but you know, never happened ever. But the point is that it was a stupid prime directive. The prime directive should have been rescue mission. They should have painted the Enterprise red, okay, with little crosses on it, little medical alert badges and shit, and all kinds of condoms, all kinds of good rescue equipment. And that's what should have been in their Enterprise. It should have been an aid truck, a UN aid truck, you know, bringing food packets and medical supplies and all kinds of goodies to the universe. Save the poor, suffering, sentient beings. Yeah, I bet you Spock wanted to do that. I bet you Spock wanted to paint it red. He wanted to put some red lights on it, flashing, and he wanted to pull the siren string and go on rescue missions. I'm sure Spock wanted to do that. But anyway, you get my drift. So when we know something's right, like drunk driving is wrong, action is appropriate. Maybe Anti-Bullshit Man agrees with that. But the point is, he's already conceded the moral question in a way. And if all he's going to say is it's intersubjective agreement crap, well, that intersubjective agreement would have no character as an argument for me to make to somebody else. That has no weight. Here, we're going to guess at being right. We might be Adolf Hitler. Well, if I think I'm Adolf Hitler, I'm out of the game. If I think there's a possibility that I'm wrong, I got no right to say anything. And such. Anyway, well, till next time. And such. So forth and whatnot. But I mean, really, you can't half concede these points. You either think the welfare of sentience matters, or you don't. If you don't, then it's all some fucking joyride the human race is on, and it doesn't matter. You can all be laughing spectators like Greytex. But if you do think it matters, if you do think there's a substance to our experience, game on. This means something. Improvement is value. Change is value. And value means obligation. You can't separate the words value and obligation. Okay, next time. And such.